What we're going to present to you right now is our in-home presentation, which includes, if you will, the laptop presentation. Some people have it on a laptop, some people have it printed out. For purposes of the discussion today and this video, we printed out all of the pages of a presentation as well as a workbook to go through with the homeowner. The assumption is you've already been in the home for 20 to 30 minutes, you've done the warm-up, you've measured the windows on the outside of the home, you've operated the windows on the inside of the home, and now you're back sitting at the kitchen table ready to open the presentation manual and to start going through everything. So for the next hour and a half, we will go through sitting at the kitchen table, the presentation, and the parts and pieces. Well, Bill, now that we've gone outside of your home and we've looked at all of the windows, you've got 12 windows and a patio door. And knowing that you've been in the home, you said for about 5 years?
Yeah, 5 years.
Okay. And we've got to see some of the problems with the windows. And it's obvious that they're the original windows in the home. They're metal frames, which I think you had said that they get really hot on the inside of the house. And it's single pane glass. And knowing that regardless of if it's single pane glass and it's a steel window or if it's a wood frame and double pane glass, we can do a lot of different things for you to help you out. At the same time, you got to see some of the issues that are out there, that you don't have screens in about half of your windows.
Yeah, I noticed that now.
And we talked about just how hard it is to lock some of the windows, and some of the windows don't even stay open. You've got sticks
I know, that's embarrassing.
holding them up. So what I want to do is I want to walk you through what we can do, and I think how we can make significant improvements in your home to be able to get things started. So obviously what I would like to do is tell you a little bit about our company, tell you a little bit about the options that are out there in terms of what you can look at of other companies and other products, and then I'm going to show you what we have. And I believe that you're going to be very impressed, and I'm also going to show you an opportunity how to save money while I'm here with you today. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Let's take a look at some of the work that we've done. Now, this is a picture of a home on the left here that is the before picture, and on the right is the after picture. Here's the significance of this home. This home is located in Dickinson, Texas. Dickinson, Texas is the first town that was shown on all the news channels that got flooded with Hurricane Harvey.
Oh, wow.
It was where they showed all the boats going in. It's very low lying of where it was. Fortunately, the owner of this home, her name is Joyce Ovesny, and we called her every day during that storm to check on her to make sure everything was okay. Thank God Joyce was in a little bit of a higher area, didn't have any flooding in her home. What Joyce did was, you can see, just look at the difference, and she went with a beige window.
Okay.
These were the original windows in the home. Her and her husband actually did the stonework on this home.
Oh my.
In addition, you can see that we put a door over here. We took a window and put a door out. We took that door out and put a window in. We had to match some of the stone.
That's pretty neat. You put a door and a window and
We can change out any design that there
you
is.
put a door over here. That's pretty neat.
Exactly.
Wow.
And what Joyce is proud to tell everybody, my window held up in Hurricane Harvey.
Wow, it's amazing.
Here's another home that's actually located north of her up in Dallas, Texas. You can see that these folks had shaped windows on the back of their home. And I'm going to tell you this, I'm going to go into a lot of detail before. We own our own factory. I know that our folks in marketing had told you that. We can do anything, any design, any shape that's in a home. So in this instance here, these folks had two windows with a shape on top. Look at the before and after.
Oh
and
yeah,
that
you
difference.
definitely see a big difference
Now,
there.
you have the shape above your family room in the back. So obviously, that's something we would have no problem doing.
Okay.
This is a home that's in Pennsylvania, in Harrisburg. You can see on the left-hand side here, it looks like it was in the dead of winter. And you can see, again, these folks have the original windows in there. There's some shapes and so on that would go in there. You can see at the after. Look at the difference that it makes.
Yes. Wow.
In terms of it pops.
Is it hard to make a shaped window?
No,
Wow.
not in any. We can make any shape, any design that's out there.
So that's what they call custom?
Correct. This is a home in Virginia. You can see actually the little bit on the left there, the little bit of snow.
Wow.
When we went in to visit with the homeowners, we came back in the spring and installed for them. Those are what are called bow windows.
Okay.
Okay, and there's 5 windows that go across, all in one frame.
What a difference there.
to be able to go with it. Now, walking around on the outside of your home, the before and after on your home would be absolutely incredible. It would be a significant difference. And really what it comes down to, instead of just the look, what needs do you have in terms of with your home? So what I would like to do, I'd like to walk through with you, if you will, what you have on your home. Now, where you're located here in Florida,
Okay.
of where you're located, I think I can say with confidence, and I can say this to you, that we had 2 storms that are lifetime storms within 2 weeks, and almost a third storm. Hurricane Jose, right now, as they say, is probably not going to come here, but we had Hurricane Harvey that went into Texas. And Hurricane Harvey created probably the worst flooding that we'll ever see on history. 50 inches of rain in the city of Houston.
I saw the TV pictures of it. It was devastating.
It came in to right above Corpus Christi, Texas as a Hurricane 4, went in about 30 miles and made a U-turn, went back out onto the Gulf of Mexico.
I remember seeing that on the TV.
And then
Wow.
come in at Galveston, Texas, went into Houston and just sat there and spun.
That's
50
amazing.
inches of rain. 50
that's
inches of rain.
Crazy.
We just get through Hurricane Irma in Florida. It didn't affect one city, it affected the whole state.
Wow. Yeah, it did.
Now, something I'm proud to say is that with all of our offices in Texas and in Florida, and all of the calls that we've gotten from there, the number of failures that we had with our windows, 0.
What do you mean by failure?
Not one window was breached because of the storms. Not
Oh, wow.
one window failed. Nothing.
So
We had a couple of water leaks. Did that happen because water rose out on the street and came in, or whatever it was? But that is totally it.
Wow.
Now, your situation is different. Everybody's home is different. Okay. Now, I've noticed on your home that you don't have any hurricane protection in any way.
Correct.
Is that something you've thought about in the past, or so on?
Well, I did recently. Now.
Okay. Now you're not in the
storms,
hurricane zone.
but still, when it affects the whole state, it's definitely something I think we should consider.
So you call that a need.
Oh yeah.
Okay, great. Now, aluminum steel windows. I think we both know by just the touch in these 90-degree days what you have.
They're hot.
They're very hot, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
So that would be a need. You want to get rid of aluminum steel windows, don't you?
Oh yeah.
Okay, great. You've got single pane glass.
I thought that was good.
You thought that was good. Okay, well, wait till I show you a little bit what single pane. We'll call that a need to get addressed.
Okay.
Fair enough? I didn't see any broken glass anywhere. That when we went around and we looked at all the windows and we
Yeah.
operated all the windows, I don't say that you have any broken glass. I don't think we need to check that one off. Am I right?
There's nothing broken.
Okay. Broken locks. Given the fact that you've got sticks to keep your windows so
Okay.
that people can't get in the patio doors, a broom handle that's back there. What do you have back there?
That's a broom handle.
Okay.
That keeps people out.
And then you've got in the bedroom, you've got the same thing, that you've got a broken lock back there. So I think we need to address that. Is that fair enough?
Yeah.
Hard to open.
Some of them are not easy.
When you and I went through some of those, it was a struggle getting those up, right? Won't stay up.
Well, that's what the stick's for.
So let's take care of that, right? Hard to clean. Is that a concern for you?
Well, now we're talking about it, yeah, because now I think that we only usually clean the inside because I can't really get to the outside.
Okay.
They
So
don't-
you would call
they
that a
don't-
need?
Yeah.
Okay. Noise infiltration, is that a problem for you? And it's kind of quiet on the street. Here's what I mean by that I want you to think about. It's not only cars, but it's the neighbor who cuts his grass on a Saturday morning at 7 o'clock. It's the neighbor who also then wants to get the blower out, right, and clear out everything off of that. It's noise, unwanted, unfiltered noise. Is it a big issue for you or not so much?
Not really. I really don't pay attention. I sleep pretty strong, so
Okay,
it doesn't bother me too much.
okay.
Will they make?
It'll make a significant
Oh.
difference. So it's probably not something you would notice a big difference of. So I wouldn't call it a need.
Okay.
But if you were sitting here saying we live near the freeway, or I've got a neighbor who's cuts his grass every 3 times a week at 7 o'clock in the morning,
That would be an
that would be
issue.
a big difference. Hurricane panels. Now, the reason why that's put on here as a need, take this last storm in both Texas and in Florida. Let's just assume that you had hurricane panels or a family had hurricane panels. How do you get those up when you're not in town?
Got to get somebody to do it somehow.
It's a problem, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a problem. So, as a need, hurricane panels become an issue when you're not around or you're not in town, or that storm just whips up.
No, a friend of mine has the panels, and they actually left town and didn't even get to put the panels up. They were too much of a hurry.
Pretty crazy.
Yeah.
But since you don't have them, I'm not going to call it a need.
Okay.
But if you told me you had them, I would say, what do you do? And so we'll leave that unchecked. Here's a concern that I have. And we went through a couple of the bedrooms. And Corey and Emily's bedroom are separate windows on the back of the home. Where your bedroom sits, you've got that door that goes out to the back with the broom handle in it, right? But in Corey's bedroom, one of the windows is very, very difficult to open.
Right.
Very difficult to open. In Emily's room, one of the windows doesn't open at all. It's painted shut.
Yeah, it's an old.
So I always like to say, in the event of a fire, what would you do?
Try to get to an area where we can get out.
What if you
For
couldn't?
sure.
What if you couldn't get to the hallway or get out?
Somehow break the window or get it open somehow or do something. I don't know.
So would
Never
you
thought
agree?
of it.
Would you agree those bedroom windows are a fire hazard?
Yeah, now we're talking about it. Never
Okay.
thought of it until just now.
All right. We talked a little bit earlier when I went through my market survey about the high energy bills, and you told me that you're paying in the area of about $220 a month across the entire year.
Right.
Do you feel like you're paying too much?
Like everybody, I hope everybody feels that they're paying too much. I wish I was paying less.
Okay. So you'd say you've got high energy bills. That's a need, right? Okay. What about the look of your windows? Unsightly, aesthetics, that kind of stuff. Is that something that bothers you?
Now that I'm looking at these pictures, I'm sure my house doesn't look the best from the outside.
Yeah, they're the original windows, and what they call the oxidized, the aluminum, if you will, starts taking on, it starts fading out and running down throughout it. Okay, so they're unsightly. I didn't notice any rotted wood. You've got aluminum windows. They're caulked in place out there, so I didn't see anything. Is there anything on the inside of the home that maybe I missed with damage or anything like that?
No, not that I noticed.
Okay, fair enough. From an insurance standpoint, how this could help you is if you were to get hurricane windows put in, it would help on your insurance premiums. Now, you don't live in the hurricane zone. Have you lived in the hurricane zone? This could help you from your insurance. So I'm going to pass by this.
Okay.
But that's really for folks that live in the hurricane zone. Now, ripped or missing screens, I think out of 12, I saw 6 windows without screens, and that patio door doesn't have a screen.
True.
That would be a need you'd want to address?
Yeah, and some cool nights I like to open the windows. Now we're talking about all this stuff. I never realized it until we're going over it.
Let's talk about fading. And what I mean by fading is not on the outside of the home, but on the inside of the home. Now, you've been here for 5 years. Have you noticed anything on furniture, carpeting, where you had maybe a piece of furniture and you moved it, and you could see the effect on the carpeting? Have you seen fading issues, drapery, that kind of stuff?
Not really. Only being here 5 years. I'm sure if we went and changed some stuff now, we might see it, but I really haven't noticed it. Too much.
Okay, fair enough.
If I was here a lot longer, I'm sure we'd see something.
It's not a big issue for you. Okay, great. Security and travel. And here's the story I like to tell, is that when the storm came, where did you folks go?
We went north.
Where did you go?
Up to Orlando.
Okay. And obviously you followed the advice of Governor Rick Scott,
Yeah.
who said everyone should take shelter, and that was absolutely great advice. And when you came home, what were you hoping?
To find my house intact and no damage.
Right, exactly. For 2 reasons, I think. 1, for the storm. And 2, is you hear about this craziness of people looting and doing different things, right? Mm-hmm. So you want to make sure that your home was also secured so that no one could get into it. So when you traveled, when you come back, were you concerned?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, our hearts were pounding a mile a minute. We'd asked people to maybe look at our house for us, but we couldn't get a hold of anybody. So
Security and travel would be a concern of yours.
Yeah.
If we can make it a little bit more safe and secure. What about air infiltration? Do you feel anywhere that you feel air really coming in?
Just when
around
it's a crazy storm or something like that.
But it's not a big issue.
No.
It's not a big issue. Okay, that's fair enough. What about water? Do you have water coming in around any of the windows
No.
or the doors at all?
No. I'm thinking.
Yeah, had there been a flood here, you might be telling me a
Yeah,
different story.
we might have more water than you think.
But we can't stop floods.
No.
All right. Now, corrosion, pitting, caulking issues. You and I looked
I
at a
saw
lot of
that
this on the
outside.
outside of the house. The windows, because the original windows are really starting to corrode. The metal itself starts to break down, so it starts to pit. And really, the caulking is the biggest concern. I'm a little bit surprised to tell me that you don't have any water coming into the home.
Right.
With that caulking coming off, water could easily penetrate and get back there. But I think that's something as a need you need to have addressed. Fair enough?
Yeah.
Okay, great. What about condensation? And what I mean by condensation is anything on the inside of the home that where you start seeing where it's really wet on the inside of the window.
We
You see
do
a lot of
notice
that?
it sometimes, when it's really humid outside, or if it gets real cold outside, we'll see some water on the inside. It does happen, and I don't know why it happens, but I know it does happen.
I definitely know you got an issue in two of the windows because I can see that on the inside also. There's some dirt and so on that some of the seals are bad.
Okay.
So definitely condensation is a concern. Okay. All of your windows go up and down or side to side, so you don't have any broken cranks. So those are the windows
Right.
that crank up. That's not an issue. We talked about this in the market survey, but again, I'm going to let you address it. Are there any rooms, because you're here in Florida, that, and it doesn't really matter if it's Florida or Alabama or Indiana, excess heat or excess cold? So let's first talk about the excess heat. When you're in the home and it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon, the sun's at its highest. Where's the hottest room in the house?
The front living room.
Tolerable or intolerable?
And it's pretty hot in there. We try to stay out of that room as much as we can. It's the way the sun comes, the sun hits on the side of the house there, and it's pretty hot.
So now it comes January, February. You get some nights in the 40s, and a couple in the 30s last year. Where would be the room that you would say would be the coldest?
Probably the same. Right?
Same area. So if we could address those areas, that's something you would want to take care of?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. Sliding doors difficult to open?
Patio doors a little tough.
Okay. Difficult to lock? How about
Yeah,
the
people
broom
say-
handle? The broom
Yeah.
handle, that's the lock,
That's
right?
that's our.
Okay. And I noticed on the entry doors, I don't see much of a problem with locking because we come in through that entry door. No
Yeah.
issues with the entry doors.
No.
Okay, great. Well, let's do this. Here's what I want to go through with you. Is that we've completed our needs assessment, and what that really allows us to do is there really a need for new products in your home? And I think you'd have to agree that you need to get something done, right? What we do is we'll provide you the time frame in which we think you should get this work done, and then we'll leave behind a recommendation for you later on how to address that. Now, this is what we know. We're in thousands and thousands of homes per year. And of all the homes that we've done since we started, this survey has allowed us to gain the information that if you have 1 to 3 of these things wrong on this page, you should get something done between now and the next 36 months. If you've got 4 to 6 issues or needs, you should get something done in between now and the next 18 months. If you've got 7 or more, you should really get something done now. So let's take a look at what you have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. You've scored a 17. So you fall into the category of what you should get something down. Something done now. Would you agree?
Yeah, and I'm looking at that. It's
Pretty crazy, isn't it?
wow.
Pretty
I never
crazy.
realized it until
Great.
I'm looking at this.
All right, so let's keep moving on here. When people are looking at windows, and again, I have to say, prior to these storms, it was not much of an emotional decision. It was more a logical decision that we should get something done. But now that these storms have come, our phones are ringing off the hook. People are looking at things totally different. But what we have found out historically in the past, prior to these storms, that really there's 8 major issues people want to look at for getting their windows done. 1, storms, winds, hurricane, tornadoes. It doesn't matter what it is. They want to be able to keep everything out. Second would be trying to keep people out of their house. They don't want people breaking into their home through their windows and doors. Third would be high energy bills. You've already said, hey, I'm paying $220 a month. I'd like to get that down.
Sure.
Operation of windows and doors. You've got issues there, and we looked at on the needs assessment. Broken glass or locks. You've got some locks that we need to address. Noise is not much of an issue for you, but I'm going to show you how that can make it be able to fix that. Hard to clean. Mm-hmm. You've got to get out there underneath those bushes on ladders if you want to clean the outside. Like you said, you don't clean them. And then the unsightly on how it can make a difference. So let's go into detail on all of those. Now, this video here that we have shown you is really hit home for us. This is a video that is probably about 4 years old. David Muir is the anchor of ABC News. And ABC News wanted to show people, in the event of a hurricane, what would be the difference between doing nothing, putting plywood on, putting hurricane shutters on, or putting hurricane windows in. The video that we had just shown you there was done at the lab in York, Pennsylvania, our lab.
Wow.
Now, when this was done, the interesting thing that was on there is the fellow that was on there, his name is Justin Buck. Justin Buck was the technician that we started with 14 years ago. That's where all of our windows are tested, at that lab. So when they went there and tested the windows, we said, wow, that's our lab that ABC News is showing. And the reality is you and I were glued to the Weather Channel over the past month, haven't we, Ben?
True.
2 lifetime storms, and one that almost came through, being Hurricane Jose, and to see what these windows can do. Now, here's really the reality and the facts. Severe storms, tornadoes, hurricanes are a major concern for anybody in the country. Not just you here, for anybody. Does it seem like there's a severe weather event almost every day somewhere?
And it does. I mean, the more you look at it, there's a lot of stuff going on today.
What's the maximum sustained winds that you can say probably happened at your house through some of these things?
Oh my. 70, 80, 90 mile an hour winds?
Category 1. Right?
Yeah.
You start getting into Category 2, over 100 miles an hour. Pretty crazy things. You look at some of these damages. You take Hurricane Harvey. They're saying Hurricane Harvey in Texas is going to produce between 190 and $200 billion worth of damage. That's more than Hurricane Katrina and Sandy put together.
Wow.
They don't know the damage from Irma yet in terms of what's going to be able to be there. What do you think insurance companies are doing right now?
They're probably panicking.
They're panicking. And you know what they're telling everybody? Hey, we don't cover floods. So what does it do good for you if your house got flooded because the hurricane came in and pushed all the rain up and did everything?
That's crazy.
It's not a good thing, is it? So when there's a threat of a storm, people have choices, right? They go out and hang plywood if they have it, right? Or they constantly worry about their home and their possessions if they got to leave town or go out and do everything. You left town.
Yeah, we
You
did.
went up to Orlando. What did you do to protect your home?
Just broomsticks, and doors locked, and
Crossed your fingers
yeah, and took everything that we needed as long as we could.
and did some praying. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, what I want to talk about would be safety in your home. And when you think about it, you look at some of these companies out there that, like ADT, think of one of the biggest companies out there. And you have a security system on your home. Why is that?
Well, just for burglaries and safety. I mean, we want to keep people out.
Exactly. And ADT works real well. It tells you when somebody got in, right?
Yeah.
Right. So that's the scary thing is it would be nice to keep people out. And the question is how safe are our homes today? Home invasions have never been more frequent than they are right now. And it doesn't matter where it's at in the country that desperate people do desperate things. And Florida, Texas, Pennsylvania, I don't care where it is. Everywhere the statistics are increasing on home invasions. It doesn't matter when it's daytime or nighttime. They want to get into your home. They'll watch your home to find out your patterns on when you go to work, what time you go to bed, when you take vacations. They know it doesn't really matter. And they'll find a way to get in. They know how to get into alarm systems. They know how to disarm alarm systems to be able to get in there. Break a window, before you know it, they're in there, knock through the door, they turn the alarm system off that quick to be able to go with it. So when you take a look at that, and my question to you is, with your alarm system, how much peace of mind does it give you?
Well, it gives us peace of mind when it's, when we go to bed at night, we turn it on and that's what we have. I mean, that's our defense to somebody breaking in.
Be a little bit better if they couldn't get in the first place, wouldn't it?
Well, of course.
I'm going to show you that a little bit later. Okay?
Okay.
If I forget, remind me.
Well, you triggered me now.
Let's talk about fire safety. Walking through Corey and Emily's bedroom, being a professional, I'm in about 500 to 600 homes a year, and I like to, if I can, help my prospective customers and my customers from many different ways. And in this instance, with asking you, does your current window door situation, what would you do in the event of a fire? We've already talked about that.
Right.
Do you guys have a family fire escape plan?
Honestly, no, not really.
Don't feel bad about that. Most people don't.
Man, I gotta get one. Now I'm thinking about it.
But you should. And if there's a note that I want you to make from this is, have a plan. We hear the fire alarms go off, where are we all going to meet? If you go out the front door, if you go out the back door, where are we all going to meet? At the front of the house, the back of the house? There should be some kind of discussion on where that will be, because when you're outside the house, the only thing you want to know is what? Everybody else got out, and everybody else got out okay. Okay, so when you take a look at it, you answer that question there. Do your windows provide an easy escape?
No, not really.
Right. So that's what I'm going to show you the difference is how window can provide an easy escape in the event of a fire. What people don't realize, Bill, is time is the biggest enemy. Seconds count. Rooms fill up with smoke just like that. And smoke is the issue. It's not really the fire. It's the smoke that overtakes people before that is there. So what our engineers have done, and I'm going to show you the details on this, they've developed a fire escape technology that in the event of any fire, all of our windows and doors can help you and your family. Okay?
Wow.
We're going to walk through that here a little bit.
That's neat.
Now, let's talk about the most common things people know about windows. Really, it's people say, can you help me save some money? And what I want to educate you on here, it's going to take a little bit of a process to go through this with you. There's three issues. There's what's called infiltration, conduction, and radiation. So let's take a look at it. See, we even got little like Pac-Man on them. They're up there. There's Mr. Infiltration, there's Mr. Conduction, and Mr. Radiation. There's a home with a thermal image, and anywhere you see blue or red, that is energy escaping.
Oh, wow.
So you can see through the roof that it's getting right through there. You can see through the blue that it's getting through. It looks like on that window right there, they might have changed that. Green means good. Blue means escaping, it's cold. Red means it's terrible. Wow. So let's take a look at the three culprits. The first culprit would be infiltration. And really what I want you to envision in your mind, as you can see here and so on, infiltration is just a fancy word for a draft. It's when you go to even though you said, hey, I only feel air coming in when there's really crazy winds. The window and door industry did a study, and they went out and they looked at the average home that the windows have been installed for quite a while. It's the original windows that are in the home. When they measured the gap around both windows that go up and down, the frame of the window, and then the wood around the outside, and they said, how much of a gap is there in every window? This is going to shock you. It's equivalent to the size of a brick.
What does that mean now?
So for every window you have, think of a brick being this size, right? If they take an average window and they find all the air gaps in that, and they compress that, it's the size of a brick. It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's odd.
It's crazy. So you've got 12 windows and a patio door. In this home that's showing here, there was 10 windows. It's like 10 bricks missing. If you had a hole in your wall that big, what would you do, Bill?
I guess we'd have to fix it.
Right away. Why?
Well, I don't want people coming in, plus, heating and...
Animals and dirt and debris and all that other stuff, right?
True.
Now, so in your home, it's like having 12 bricks and another 2 bricks missing for the patio door, right? It's like 14 bricks deciding in your home. Well, that's the best case scenario. Let's keep moving. Wow. Let's talk about conduction. Conduction is actually 3 times more the energy loss than infiltration. And conduction is the absorption of heat through your window. Now, here's the way, you already told me this. On the front of your home, that's the hottest part, right? Go up to that, it's 95 degrees out. What does it feel like on the inside of your home to touch those metal frames?
It's hot.
Almost burn yourself, right?
It's hot.
So the material heats up and actually absorbs through to the inside of the window and heats the house up because of the material getting hot.
Yeah, I mean, it's hot in there. It's hot.
Now, because it's 3 times the energy lost in infiltration, it's like having 3 bricks out
Wow.
for every window you have in your home. So it's 12 windows, it's like another 36 bricks missing out of your home. And that patio door like another 4 or 6. You can see where this is going, right? There's a lot of bricks missing out of the side of your house.
My God.
But let me tell you about the worst part of this thing. And the worst part of this is called radiation. Radiation has 6 times the energy loss than infiltration.
Radiation.
What that is it's the sun's waves that travel through your home, okay? You're standing in that front living room, and you go stand in front of that window, and you can feel the heat when you're standing right against that window, aren't you?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now, that's fairly common with people with original windows and single pane windows. That's just the way that it is.
Mm-hmm.
And 60 to 80% of your energy loss directly is because of the radiation coming into your home.
Wow.
Now, think of this. If this is 6 times infiltration, you got infiltration, which is 1 brick, you got conduction, which is 3 bricks, and you got radiation, which is 6. It's 10 bricks per window.
Wow.
See this? See the door down here?
Mm-hmm.
So when you combine everything, infiltration, conduction, radiation, in this instance it shows 10 windows equals 100 bricks. In your home, it's like 120 to 150 bricks. It's like leaving the door wide open in the front of the house.
Yeah, really.
Could you keep the house cool or heated if the front door was wide open?
No. Probably shut the door.
I didn't think so. Let's do this. I'm going to go over to my parts bag. I want to go test one of your windows. How does that sound?
What do you mean?
We're going to go test one of your windows to see how much radiation is coming through.
Oh, wow.
All right, let's go take a walk.
All right.
All right, Bill, here's what I want to do next. Can I have, this is what's called our BTU meter, and this is a 250 watt heat lamp.
Okay.
This simulates a 90-degree day on the outside of your home where the sun is hitting it. And as you told me, the front living room is the hottest room. I'm going to show you what happens in the home. So you hold that BTU meter, okay? That stands for British Thermal Unit. It measures radiant heat.
Okay.
A solar-powered meter measuring radiant heat. Move that really close to the heat lamp. What does it read?
Hi.
Okay, now pull it away. As you can see, the further you get away, it goes down.
Mm-hmm.
Don't touch that heat lamp. Put your hand near it. Feel how hot that is, right?
Wow.
It's incredibly hot. So what we're going to do is we're going to test the heat lamp against your glass.
Okay.
When we shut this door, I'm going to want you to put the BTU meter right up against the glass.
Okay.
I'm going to be on this side. I want you to tell me the reading. And then what I'm going to do is I want you to keep the BTU meter at the same level of the height that I have the heat lamp. I want you to back up slowly. Tell me when you get to 10. And then I want you to go back slower and tell me when you get to 0.
All right.
Because I want to see how far the radiant heat's getting in your home. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So let's shut this, okay? Now put it right up against there. What's the reading you get, Bill?
Hi.
Okay, great. Back away slowly for me, please. Try to keep it at the same level we're at. Tell me what you're at.
15.
You're at 15. Keep going, Bill. Keep going. What are you at now?
10.
So you're about how far away, Bill?
About 7 feet.
Okay, now keep going and tell me when you get to 0. All right, you can stop there. What are you at?
12 feet away.
What are you at?
2.
Just to get it down to a 2, look at the distance between you and I.
Jeez.
That shows the radiant heat getting into your house from your glass.
Wow.
I have to help you find a way to cut down on that radiant heat. If I can, I know I can help you with that energy bill of $220 a month.
Wow, that's
Okay?
amazing.
Let's go take a look.
Okay.